If you've been looking for a way to turn your living room into a mini theater without tearing down walls or wiring a whole home cinema system, you're in the right spot. I'm going to walk through the Samsung Q-Serie Sound Bar, the 9.1.4 channel setup with a subwoofer and rear speakers, and see whether it actually gives you that richer, more immersive audio you've been dreaming about. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest thing most people want from a sound system is clearer dialogue. Watching a drama or a thriller, you don't want to miss a single line because the audio is buried under music or effects. Samsung's adaptive sound technology claims to listen and adjust on the fly, so the voices stay crisp even when an explosion or a crowd roar hits. In my own test, I was watching a TV series with a lot of fast-talking characters, and the conversations stayed intelligible without me cranking up the volume. That can be a real comfort for families with kids who might be watching from the couch while someone else is playing a game in the next room. Another practical benefit is the wireless rear speakers. You don't have to run long speaker wires across the floor, which can look messy and be a tripping hazard. The rear units just snap into place on the sidewalls or even on a bookshelf, and they sync automatically with the main bar. For people who have a small apartment and need a tidy setup, that wireless connection is a lifesaver. I set one speaker on each side of my sofa, and the surround sounds felt like they were coming from all directions, especially during a recent action movie where the car chase moved from front to back. The powerful subwoofer is something many viewers overlook, but it makes a big difference when you're watching a sports broadcast. The low-frequency rumble of a stadium crowd, the thud of a tackle, or the deep bass line in a concert, having that extra punch adds a level of realism that a flat TV speaker simply can't match. Since the sub is wireless too, you can place it near a wall or corner to boost the bass without cluttering the TV stand. I placed mine in the corner of the room, and the punchy low end really helped my kids feel the excitement of a soccer match. If you own a Samsung Smart TV, integration is practically plug-and-play. The soundbar connects via HDMI eARC, which means audio is transmitted at high bandwidth, preserving the Dolby Atmos and DTS signals without any noticeable lag. This is handy when you're switching between streaming apps, gaming consoles, or live TV. I didn't have to fiddle with separate audio settings, the TV and soundbar just talk to each other. The on-screen menu even lets you calibrate the room automatically, which is a nice shortcut for those who aren't audio tech geeks. In terms of everyday use, the Samsung Q-Series also works well for background music. Imagine having dinner parties where you want a subtle soundtrack that fills the room but doesn't overpower conversation. The system's ability to balance music and dialogue means you can set a moderate volume and still enjoy a full-range sound. I tried it while cooking, and the music stayed rich without drowning out the sizzling of the pans. Another real-world scenario is gaming. When you're in a first-person shooter, having that overhead ambience and directional cues can be the difference between winning and losing. The surround speakers give you a clear sense of where enemies are coming from, and the subwoofer adds that tactile impact when explosions go off. I paired it with my console, and the experience felt noticeably tighter compared to using the TV's built-in speakers. Now let's be honest and talk about the downsides. One thing I noticed is the size of the main bar. It's a bit longer than most mid-range models, so you might need a slightly larger TV stand or mount to accommodate it comfortably. Also, while the wireless rear speakers are convenient, they occasionally need a quick reboot if they lose sync after a power interruption, which can be a minor annoyance. Overall, the pros are pretty compelling. The adaptive sound really does keep dialogue clear, the wireless rear speakers keep the room looking clean, and the deep subwoofer adds that extra excitement for movies, sports, and games. On the downside, you'll need a bit more space for the bar itself, and there's a small chance of connectivity hiccups with the rear units. If those trade-offs aren't deal breakers for you, this setup could be the upgrade you've been waiting for. That's it for today's review. If you're curious to see the exact specs or want to grab one for yourself, remember the link is in the description if you want to check the product.